I know the question on everybody's mind is, do I enjoy the Godzillaverse Hetero soundtrack? And I mean, there are enjoyable songs on it, but do I enjoy the soundtrack? No, I don't. What's up, everybody? D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we are going to be doing another NECA unboxing, baby. We're doing the trilogy. We're completing the trilogy. I should have probably recorded this at a different time because I'm a bit low on energy at this point, but we've got these two bad boys. So we've got the two 2019 Godzilla releases thus far. Let's check out the third. This one is NECA's Burning Godzilla. I also have to say at the start of this video is brought to you by NECA. They are the ones who sent me the figure to review. So now that we have full transparency, let's check it out. They always package these things differently. Some of them come packaged with lots of bubble wrap. Some of them, like this one, just come with paper on it. Here we go. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Burning Godzilla. Do they call him Burning Godzilla or Fire Godzilla? What do they call him? They call him Godzilla. That's all they call him. So here is the box that Fire Godzilla, I know that's what the fans call him. Oh, that is such a bad name. Fire Godzilla is so much lamer than Burning Godzilla. Here is the box that Burning Godzilla comes in. Now, this is just a photoshopped image. This isn't even actually Burning Godzilla. It's just a photoshopped image of the poster that is on the other box. So I guess this might look good with the other box, although you have some added debris here at the bottom and debris here along the sides. But it's just a photoshopped image of the poster. I don't know why they didn't use any actual CG render of the character, but they didn't. Maybe they couldn't get any. Here we have the side of the box, basically the same as the others. You have the hinged jaw, measurement, 12 inches head to tail, 25 points of articulation. Onto the back, you have Burning Godzilla here, Rodan Mothra, and then you got your little Fire Godzilla image. So this is just a little display picture, like my head poking out from the side. Here's a little display picture. And then, of course, you have this little info, which right here is like, following the global success of Godzilla 2014, blah, blah, blah. Boring. Top of this box is the same as the other boxes. You've got that weird Godzilla picture here, and then your little stuff here, your distributor info, plus the 65 years logo. Bottom of the box, just your barcode. These boxes aren't nearly as cool as their boxes for other figures, which feature the posters and all sorts of cool stuff all over it. This box is nowhere near as cool. I'm not a huge fan of their 2019 boxes, if I'm honest with you. I do like this image on the back. He kind of looks glowy in the image. I don't think the actual figure is going to be nearly as glowy as the one on the back of the box, but we will find out here in just a minute. There you go. You hop it open, and it looks like we've got another full body display picture here, and then Burning Godzilla here. I am noticing, not even looking at it yet, a major difference between this image and this guy. The images are definitely altered because they have him looking very fiery and orange and glowy, whereas the actual figure is very muted in tone. So we'll see what he looks like out of the box, but he certainly doesn't look as cool as this. One thing that's different with this figure, which is cool, is that the inside of the box doesn't feature that weird airplane thing. The inside of the box features this cool apocalyptic background. You've got like red lightning in the sky and then destroyed buildings. Looks like a destroyed, oh, that's a wind turbine. I thought it was an Osprey helicopter. Maybe it is an Osprey helicopter. I think it might be, actually. You've got a destroyed Osprey right there. You've got destroyed buildings, lots of debris, lots of cool stuff. It just looks way cooler. I like this art a lot more than I like that weird aircraft carrier that they always do. Then it just folds right back up and slides on into the box. Like so. There you go. And there you go. The box is all put back together. Figure comes with instructions telling you to heat up the tail and then attach it. I'll show you up close because I never do. Tells you to heat up the tail before attaching it. And then comes the fun part of trying to get Godzilla out. That is always the fun part. You guys as into the theme song for The Mandalorian as I am, because it is so cool. Wonder how far into 2020 this video is getting released. This is my second recording of 2020. Today is the second, and I don't know how long it's going to take me to get this out. I'm hoping, theoretically, it shouldn't be that long, because if I'm sticking to the new schedule I've kind of kind of written out for myself, which I'm not going to say out loud because I'm never going to hold to it accurately. Come on, I'm almost there. Almost got it. Theoretically, this video should only be like a week down the line, if that. So we'll see whenever this gets posted, we can find out how long it took me to edit this video, or how long it took me to get around to editing, I should say, based off how far away it is from the second. These black ties are the bane of my existence. I hate them so much. Look, I get you need to secure your toy. I get it. But these black ties, they make me lose my mind. Okay, Godzilla's free. We're almost there. Godzilla's free. Does he glow? A little bit. Yeah, some parts of him glow. His head glows. His arms glow. His feet glow. His legs kind of glow. His feet glow. His tail glows. Oh, you guys can kind of see that glow as well. That's kind of cool. You guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. The head glows, the arms, the feet. The legs kind of have a little bit of a glimmer to them, and the tail has a bit of a shine right here. But the rest of the body, the main portion of the body, does not glow, so that's disappointing. The dorsal fins don't either. I say disappointing. It's not actually disappointing. It's just, it'd be cool if they found a way to make him glow. Like, I believe Monster Arts did with their poster version, Godzilla 2019. I think he glows. I think you can hold him up to light and he glows. All right, good lord. Here is the tail. It's free and it can get attached to Godzilla. It looks like autumn leaves. That is my first impression, is that the paint job for this looks like autumn leaves. Does it not? You can't really see. Tell me that's not the most autumn leafy color aesthetic you've ever seen on a toy. Ah, these stinky things when they come out of the box, there's no articulation to them. Mine are always so hard that I have to go heat the whole figure up in order to break these joints free so that I can move them. Do you hear them cracking? Because I need to chip the paint basically, because they come painted attached. So like these two pieces were just attached to each other and I had to break them apart. I'm sure Godzilla's got some of that going on, as mine did yesterday. Oh, this one's neck is actually free. He can actually turn his neck, unlike the one I opened yesterday. The rest of his joints feel a little bit better than the one I had yesterday, but let's see if the tail's good. The tail's where they always get you. No, the rest of it's fine. It was just that one piece of the tail. Godzilla's hitting a dab, all right? I'm gonna go heat this figure up, pop the tail on, and then I'll be back to finish the review. D-Man stops recording so he can go put the tail on his burning Godzilla Neca. Meanwhile, World War III, WWIII, Iran, Bin Laden, Iraq, World War I, all trending. That's funny. Let's see how much this dates this video. Let's see in 5 years how unfunny this is. I saw the news and I was like, oh, okay, sure. And then all of a sudden everyone freaked out. But at least from where I'm sitting, that's kind of hilarious. I stopped to go pop the tail on this guy and I come back to see World War III started. That's kind of funny. Let's be real. They just wanted to make Nuketown 2025 a reality. Get over it. Let's talk about this figure, shall we? I got the tail back on. Can you see I got the tail on? It went on nice. I tried to heat up the body with the blow dryer so I could get the articulation. I then counted up the articulation to find out how much articulation he truly has, and as the box would indicate, he has 25 joints of articulation. If you want to count those off, we've got 10 in the tail, so there are 10 pieces of articulation in the tail. We have 6 because we have 3 on each leg, so we have 6 because we have 1 on the foot. Doesn't really do much on either foot. I do like that the feet have pegs now. We have them at the knees. My knees don't hardly do anything. We kick this knee out and bring it back. You see that difference? You can kind of kick his knee up and then bring it back down. Then we have one here at the hip or thigh. What do we want to call that? Then we have the torso. So the torso can turn barely side to side, but it can turn side to side a little bit. Arms again, 6, because you have the shoulder, the elbow, which bends in. This figures are a little easier to see than the other, so his elbow bends in. And then you have one at the wrist here, so that his wrist can bend all the way back, as you see there. It's a really cool looking figure on camera, I'll be honest. Golly, his nails are sharp and they just stab my hand. You also have one at the neck, so his neck can look side to side, and one at the head, so his head can look side to side. You have his mouth opens and closes, and that's it. That's all he's got. I don't know why I felt the need to do an articulation breakdown here when I'm fairly confident I did it when I originally unboxed the 2019 Godzilla, but I felt the need to do it. Talking about the articulation though, this figure is vastly improved from my Atomic Breath Godzilla, because my Atomic Breath Godzilla has some some limitations with it, even though they're the same sculpt. It must be a quality control issue. Here, his neck can go both directions. His little dorsal fins can fit in between each other so that he can look around it. On my other one, you cannot look past this with the dorsal fin. It won't. Also, his head is a little bit put on better than my other Atomic Breath Godzilla. As I said, you can see the red pieces of him, the ones that glow red. You can see that a little bit here. It's much more defined in person. So let's get what I am going to call Autumn Godzilla up to the camera, because this really isn't Burning Godzilla. I pulled up the screenshots of the Burning Godzilla model just so I could be sure. Also, yeah, it is on the Godzilla King of the Monsters Blu-ray. He's called Burning Godzilla, so that's what we're going to call him. I pulled up their design for Burning Godzilla, and they have two designs for Burning Godzilla. They have a base state Burning Godzilla, which is basically just the blue Godzilla, and then they've got what I am assuming is the Atomic Pulse Burning Godzilla when he's firing off his atomic pulse, because obviously he charges up, his whole body charges up, and you can see all the glowing intensify. So they have that version as well. Yeah, so there is a fairly big difference in terms of how much of them is glowing, but it's not quite like this, is it? This isn't really even close to an accurate figure. If you're trying to go for accuracy, this one doesn't really hit the nail all that well. This is just a red Godzilla with orange dorsal fins. He does look like he's on fire, but he also just looks like red Godzilla. It doesn't look like Burning Godzilla. I don't think this one necessarily looks like a Burning Godzilla. So here we go. You have his face. I don't like the yellow inside the mouth. We're talking about paint now. Don't like the yellow inside the mouth, but you do have the nice yellow tongue. Just think that looks a little worse than the others. I'm probably going to keep his mouth closed. You have the nice yellowed out eyes so that the pupils can't be looking in alternate directions. Moving up through the body here, the head features a different paint job than the dorsal fins. The dorsal fins kind of stand out as being oddly different than the rest of the body. I guess because they wanted to make it look like it's standing out, so they painted them all yellow and orange, which again doesn't really mesh with the rest of the body, because the rest of the body is more of a muted red, which I actually like the rest of the body a little more. And then of course, like I said, you do have the more translucent hands and feet, which are cool. So moving up, you have the red burning through, and you do have some vein details here. I can't imagine that they're too consistent with the paint on this. You also have really yellow spots throughout. This does appear to be applied at random rather than a consistent paint throughout all the figures, so I'd be interested to see what other people's look like. What does yours look like? I don't know. Do they all look the same? I can't really picture them all looking the same. But again, you have with the tail, you have a more glowing part here, and it goes into a more dull part here. The back is all yellow and orange. It doesn't look great compared to the rest of the body. One thing I dislike about this is it has this weird lift here between these dorsal fins and the actual back of the body. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but there is an extension between the back and the dorsal fins where it's just kind of elevated and it looks really bad. As for paint application, it works for the figure. It looks a little chaotic, and it is supposed to look chaotic because it's a chaotic burning state for Godzilla. There wasn't really much reason or rhyme to it in the movie either. Some of the dorsal fins, like this guy, have the paint chipped off, and so you can see that translucent red underneath. Only bad paint application would be right here on the bottom of the tail. There's this overwhelming bit of orange that just looks like it streaked down from above and didn't dry right. Outside of that, everything looks great. This figure, although it isn't movie accurate, no one's making one. Monster Arts also isn't making a movie accurate Burning Godzilla. This is a cool stylistic figure. I'll be honest, I really like this figure. I almost feel like I kind of look for things to critique, because otherwise I'm not really being objective, am I? If I just take it out and go, I like it, what kind of review is that? So yeah, I would have preferred a more movie accurate Burning Godzilla, but from a stylistic standpoint, this is a really awesome figure. Side by side, these guys do have a really cool contrast between the red and the blue. I like that a lot. I don't know which one I like more though. This one seems to have a little more thought and care put into the paint job, but this one is cooler. So I don't know which one I like more. Like I said, this one seems to have a little bit more care and thought put into the paint and how it was put together. So I guess this one would probably be my favorite of the two, but that's hard to say because this, it's just cool. And I really do like the translucent bits on him. I wish there was more of that going on with this figure. Yeah, I really like this figure. What am I going to rate it? I'm going to give this guy another 9 out of 10. I think he's going to be barely below the Atomic Breath Godzilla as the king of the King of the Monsters figures. The Atomic Breath, I realize, plugs in over the tongue, which is an interesting choice. There you go. I need another one of these so I can get it custom painted red and then have a burning Godzilla atomic breath. Even though he doesn't have an atomic breath in the movie, it'd be a cool accessory nonetheless. So there you go. Atomic breath fits in his mouth perfectly. It does plug in over the tongue like I mentioned. 9 out of 10. Good job, Neca. I really like the Godzilla King of the Monsters figures. The original version of this figure just didn't impress me like the 2014 version of the figure did, mostly because of the face, but I do like the variants of him a lot. The variants of Godzilla are really solid. And that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man, out!